Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday, the 21st of September 2024. Today was a match day. We played away at Loftus Road against QPR and it was a 1-1 draw, which before the start of the game would have been a decent result, but I think everyone can kind of agree that we were the better team and we were more attacking, and we not that we should have won, but we did enough to win, and we didn't actually get the win. So again, positive but frustrating is if this was a child's school report, I would write down it was positive, but it was frustrating. This is a match report from millfc.co.uk. London derby draw between QPR and Millwall. Queen's Park Rangers and Millwall drew 1-1 in the Sky Bet Championship at Loftus Road on Saturday afternoon. Duncan Watmore's fifth goal of the campaign gave the Lions a lead in the first half, but they were quickly pegged back. Don't you hate it? I hate when you get pegged. By Michael Frey's goal to ensure a share of the spoils. Manager Neil Harris made one change to his starting XI as Macaulay Langstaff replaced the injured Josh Coburn, whilst Mihailo Ivanovic took his place on the bench after overcoming injury. Murray Wallace was among the substitutes in place of Callum Scanlon, with Jake Cooper shaking off a knock to feature in West London. Yes, Jake Cooper is a beast. He is an absolute beast. He regenerates like some kind of regenerating being, and he is fit. He was fit and proper to play again. The Lions forced the issue early at Loftus Road and created a corner kick in the first minute, but after Joe Bryan's in-swing was met by Cooper at the back post, Rangers hurried clear. Kader Dembele then had a deflected shot bounce into the arms of Lucas Jensen at the other end. Japhet Tanganga's ball over the top then found the run of George Saville, making his 200th appearance for the club, who in turn nodded down for Watmore. The Osaka's connection with the ball was not clean, however. Langstaff ran the channel to take advantage of a defensive mishap and advanced into the penalty area on 11 minutes, but after the ball was eventually worked into Watmore, his attempt was smothered by Paul Nardi in the home side's goal. Nicholas Madsen blazed over on 17 minutes before Romain Esse tested Nardi at his near post as Mill's relative dominance in attacking areas continued. Langstaff thrashed one into the side netting with 23 minutes on the clock, but the host's first real chance followed not long after as Lucas Anderson looked set to slam the ball into the net from yards out. Saville, however, stuck out a leg to superbly block behind. It did seem as though it was only a matter of time until the Lions took the lead. Such was their dominance in the game. On 34 minutes it happened, as Watmore finished off a move involving Langstaff and George Honeyman, as the former crossed and the latter let the ball run to the attacker. Watmore guiding home his fifth goal of the campaign to open the scoring. 5 minutes before the break, however, QPR were level in a rare attack as Frey beat the offside trap to fire past Jensen and score. Beat the offside trap. They run from our own half. How do you beat the offside trap? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. What the fuck is that? Okay, Honeyman became the second man to find the side netting for the Lions in the first half stoppage time, striking just wide from outside the box in the final moment of the half. Esse and Watmore found pockets of space inside the QPR half to drive forward at the beginning of the second half, with Honeyman then having the first effort at the restart for the Lions as he curled just wide of the far post. Bryan's corner to the back post saw a Saville shot blocked just after the hour mark before Ryan Leonard executed a typical and perfectly timed tackle on goal scorer Frey as the home side looked to attack. A potential handball shout for the Lions went begging as Tanganga then had to be on guard with 67 minutes played as Anderson looked set to score, with the defender then situated well once again as he hacked a goal-bound effort away from danger with 20 minutes left on the clock. Bryan curled a free kick just over as the final 15 minutes came into sight. Ivanovic then making his Millwall bow as he replaced the tireless Langstaff, and Femi Aziz came on for Watmore with a golden chance falling at the feet of Honeyman on 78 minutes as Aziz and Esse combined to set up the midfielder yards out, only for the ball to skew off his foot and fly wide. SA brought a bouncing ball under control inside the box in the first of the 5 minutes of second half stoppage time and allowed Aziz to strike, but Nardi was equal to it before a deep cross from Brian was knocked back across goal by Cooper, but bundled behind as the Lions pushed hard late on. However, they were made to settle for a draw on another day, could and perhaps should have mustered for all 3 points. Indeed. And the team was as follows: Jensen, Leonard, Cooper, Tanganga, Bryan, Saville, Denor, Essay, Honeyman, Watmore, Aziz. Aziz came on for Watmore in the 75th minute. Langstaff, Ivanovic came on for Langstaff in the 75th minute. Wintle came on for Honeyman in the 93rd minute. And the unused substitutes were Roberts, McNamara, Murray Wallace, Hutchinson, Kelly, and Mmaku. And that was a crowd of 15,350 with 1,760 Millwall fans. So, what can we say? In terms of taking issue with, so Macaulay Langstaff, he did look a lot better. What I like about him is that he doesn't look up. And you think, well, what's that about? Maybe if he looked up, he might score. No, what I mean is, he kind of generally knows where the goal is. He's got a very good awareness and situation compass of where his body is and where the goal is. So the chance that he had, he got the ball inside in the area quickly, one touch, two touch to move the ball onto his foot, whipped it out the goal without even looking up. So boom boom, got the ball, boom boom, shot. That was it. And the same for his assist. So he's off the mark because he got an assist. He got the assist, ball played through to him, touch, whipped it across the goal to the player that was there. He didn't even look up. You look back at the highlights. So obviously I watched the game live on Sky Sports Plus. Obviously couldn't get over there. 1,760 tickets, so no chance. Watching it on Sky Sports Plus, and then after the game, you go and you watch the highlights and you go, okay, so that was that. And again, another thing that stood out was our free kicks. It seems so when we have a free kick that's kind of, I would say, near the halfway line, just over the halfway line towards the goal that we're attacking. We love that. Send the big man up and we treat it like a corner, like a straight corner. When we have a free kick that's closer, not so good. Obviously, no Zion Fleming, and we had a couple of shots, and it was like really bad. Just shots going over. So I don't know if anyone can take a free kick now. Maybe you have some kind of audition. Someone can shoot and try and earn the place of someone who can shoot when we get a free kick closer to the range, or they figure something out where maybe I don't know if this is possible, where you. Like if it's obviously if you, because we like to pump it up to the big man when we got free kick. So obviously when it's closer, we can't really do that. So maybe you work out a thing where you play it back towards the halfway line, then kick it forward again. So you basically doing it like that. I don't know if they can do that. Maybe that's a thing they can try instead of just shooting it over. Because we had I think maybe 3 or 4 that didn't really work out. So. Yeah. What else can we say? I would say that Langstaff was, I think it was offside maybe 3 times, which obviously a lot of people, you would say, well, how can you be offside? Why are you being offside? Obviously he's on the edge. He's trying to push it as far as he can. He's trying to get through there and trying to make something happen. So obviously that's not going to be, and a lot of people moaning oh, he's offside. But one thing I would say, if you're offside as well, when say there's a thing, you got all these teams that they like to play it out from the back. So if they play it out from the back, they go tip tap, and they work their way slowly up to the halfway line. They try to play a through ball. You intercept it. You bang it forward. Oops, offside. They get a free kick. What are they going to do? Oh, they go again, tap. So that's very helpful defending in terms of if you obviously you're not trying to do it on purpose, but if if you did want to defend against a team that just taps it out from the back, just tell your striker to be offside and just ping it up to him, and you can just reset and okay, we can do this all day long. If you're going to keep passing it slowly out from the back, we'll just intercept you and just bomb it forward, offside, boom, let's go again. So, but obviously he wasn't trying to do that. The goal, QPR's goal, I think what happened, obviously we were attacking. QPR obviously didn't really have a lot going forward. I think they probably kind of lulled us into a sense of like overconfidence that we were just sent too much forward, and there was literally like 3 centre backs forward. And they says here, the City beat the offside trap. No, because they picked up the ball in their own half, and you just run forward with it. So there wasn't really an offside trap. What I would say is that everyone was forward except for 3 defenders: Cooper, Tanganga, and Leonard. And they were doing the 50-yard backwards run. No one was like, Cooper should have went forward and engaged a player with the ball. He didn't, but because Tanganga was behind him, Leonard was behind him, there was only one other QPR player there. So it's 2 against 1. So Cooper's running back, making it 3 against 1. He needed to go forward and engage the player. Now, obviously, you would imagine that Tanganga was behind him. Tanganga would have been telling him to go and attack him. Maybe he couldn't hear him, but he didn't do it. But then, obviously, Tanganga's behind him, so he can see the situation. So I'd imagine this is not really how it's done. But if Tanganga lets Cooper keep running backwards, but Tanganga, instead of Tanganga going backwards, Tanganga goes forwards and overtakes Cooper to go to the player with the ball. But I don't think that's not how it really works. It's literally like the closest player has to deal with it. But see, Jake Cooper, I'm not really sure he's running backwards. He can't see behind him. He can't see that Tanganga and Leonard are already behind him. He doesn't need to be the one running backwards. So, yeah, that was unfortunate, but there you go. Yeah, so that's the match report. Now, moving on to this from the South London Press, which is at londonnewsonline.co.uk. And I like this. This is the thing they do. Obviously, we just had the match report. Obviously, I wasn't at the game. I watched the game. A lot of us, a lot of games are on TV and all that, or on streaming. You can get a match pass, a VPN, whatever. You can see all the games. Why do you need to read a match report? So we have this feature here that the South London Press are doing, which is the lowdown, the takeaways from the game. So yeah, the lowdown on QPR 1, Millwall 1. What was goal run continues as Ivanovic gets the first taste of Championship football. Yeah, I forgot to mention that Ivanovic looked pretty tidy when he came on. Did not look out of place. He reminds me a little bit of Abramovich. I don't know if you know that guy. He kind of looks like him. He's got these pictures here. Yeah? Got the old, what do you call that, Van Dijk. The geezer who played for Sweden. You know, he's very arrogant. You know, and he played for Milan as well. He did not look out of place at all. At all. And I think he's only 19 years old, isn't he? So, I mean, wow. I mean, not bad. And interestingly, so obviously, I very much doubt that this was a Neil Harris signing. This is obviously Steve Gallen agent signing. The fact that Neil Harris seen this guy in training and has put him on the bench and then brought him on so quickly, he's obviously, wow, okay, this guy's pretty decent. Because if he wasn't, I don't think he would have brought him on. But there you go. Millwall forced to settle for a share of the Championship spoils after 1-1 draw at QPR this afternoon. Here is the lowdown on the match. Obviously, we've seen the teams. I'm not going to go through that again. Snapshot of the game. Millwall have won one of their last 13 league games at Loftus Road, and this was the 7th draw. The Lions took the lead through Duncan Watmore's 5th goal of the campaign, already one more than he managed in the whole of the previous season. But Michael Frey quickly cancelled out that advantage, as the R's took their one big chance of the contest in a 3 versus 3 encounter. The Lions definitely had the better chances after the restart, none more so than George Honeyman being unable to convert Romain Ness's cutback from close range. Femi Aziz was denied by Rangers goalkeeper Paul Nardi late on. Tactical approach. The South Londoners were always going to enjoy implementing their pressing game against our side, who were determined to play out from the back. There was one enforced change for head coach Neil Harris. Macaulay Langstaff started up top in their normal 4-2-3-1 formation, with Josh Coburn ruling out a calf injury. Langstaff produced his best display yet in the Millwall shirt, collecting the assist for Watmore's goal, and also set up George Honeyman for a strike which narrowly flew just wide of Nardi's goal. Indeed. Star man. He's a star man. Duncan Watmore. Harris has talked about his frustration at his side not having the points their performances are merited, but in the form of Sunderland and Middlesbrough play, he has someone who has supplied end product, showed composure before he finished his first half chance. The best moment has to be Watmore's goal. He even partly reenacted Jed Wallace's celebration in August 2021, although unlike the winger, he did not run the entire length of the pitch to stand in front of the away end. Moan of the match. Set pieces, and in particular Millwall's attacking one, struggled to really get the kind of quality on their corners that was needed to give QPR major issues. Also, they arguably lack a big offensive threat from free kicks that are in shooting range around the edge of the penalty area. Indeed. I haven't stolen that. Well, I haven't read this before. I'm reading it to you. That was one thing that everyone kind of noticed. A talking point down the pub, Mihailo Vanovic's debut. At one stage it seemed like the summer transfer window recruit, a club record signing, and might be facing weeks and weeks on the sidelines as he recovered from injuries, the most notable to his foot. But the Serbian striker gained his first minutes as a 75th minute substitute against QPR. It's no time to form any kind of judgment of Ivanovic, but he won a couple of early aerial duels and seemed happy to match it physically with the Rangers centre-backs. Yes, he liked very much a Millwall player. He did love to get stuck in. He left a bit on when he was running into people. What the boss had to say. Oh, the positive, we're making chances. It's my job to make sure they understand how well we're playing, with and without the ball. Biggest thing is that I don't think there will be a Millwall fan that will leave that away end today not having enjoyed watching their team today. We look like a proper Millwall team. We have flair on the ball, and we created chances. Indeed. So there you go. Now moving on to some more post-match comments from Neil Harris and from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Glass half full. Well, no glasses, please, or unless it's plastic. Mill boss Harris focusing on positives to come out of 1-1 draw at QPR. Mill manager Neil Harris took plenty of pluses out of their 1-1 draw at QPR today. The Lions went ahead at Loftus Road in the 34th minute, which we know. Harris said, "Oh, glass half full, for sure, because historically it's been a notoriously difficult place for a Mill team to come and get a positive result over the years. A dominant display, excellent without the ball. We were very, very good with the ball and created numerous chances. I'm disappointed not to win the game. Frustrated is probably the right word as well. It was another game where I thought we were better than the opponent. You look back at Luton last week where we deserved a point, if not 3, and then we should have won at Hull. We should have beaten Watford." Glass half full because of the positives I can take out of the game. George is gutted that he hasn't scored. He was excellent. Romain was disappointed he hadn't scored again. And Duncan was disappointed he didn't score as well. Macaulay is disappointed he hasn't got off the mark, and Femi is disappointed he hasn't scored at the end. The centre halves are disappointed they haven't scored in the melees in the 6-yard box. The positive is we're making the chances. It's my job to make sure they understand how well we are playing with and without the ball. And the biggest thing is I don't think there will be a Millwall fan will leave that away end not having enjoyed watching their team today. We look like a proper Millwall team, we had flair on the ball and we had creative chances, and we need to turn those into positive performance into wins. Our discipline, shape and our decision making about when to press restricted QPR to a very small amount of clear-cut chances. Indeed, and so obviously everyone is disappointed. George is gutted, Romain's disappointed, Duncan's disappointed, Macaulay's disappointed, Femi's disappointed, the centre halves are disappointed. Is there anyone in that Millwall team that isn't disappointed? But like I said, we saw in yesterday's video, how many times have we won at QPR? Not that many. So to not lose away at Loftus Road is a good result. Now, moving on to this again from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Gary is right. Neil Harris agrees with former Millwall boss Rowett that Premier League clubs will be watching Mill's essay. Neil Harris has agreed with former Mill boss Gary Rowett that Premier League clubs will be watching Romain essay, but says that the attacker's main focus will be on ensuring he is a constant fixture in the Mill side this season. Rowett, who handed SA his Lions debut during his stint as boss at the Den, was a pundit for Sky Sports for Mill's game against Luton last Saturday. He said before the game, Premier League clubs will be looking at him very, very closely. He's got so much ability. Honestly, when he came into the team for the first couple of years ago, he's one of those kids you look at and you think, wow. I don't think he's put that into that consistent performances on the pitch just yet. But if he does, he's a superstar in the making. He's got absolutely everything. SA19 recently signed a new long-term extension with the Lions and has started every championship outing this season, scoring in the 4-3 defeat at Bristol City. Crystal Palace sporting director Dougie Freedman was at the Den last weekend for Mill's 1-0 defeat at home to Luton. Asked by the South London Press about how SA was dealing with the speculation, Harris said, I don't really worry about Romain's mentality. He's a brilliant young man. He's been schooled well here and he's had a good upbringing at home. And Romain just loves playing football. He wants to be on the pitch and he loves winning as well, which is important for us. Gary's right. There will be a lot of interest. He's a 19-year-old who's playing in the championship. Romain's focus, he's been told in no uncertain terms, has to be to stay in the team, and that's his priority focus. Everything else in football will come after that. If you're not playing regularly from the start in the championship, then you're not going to move up to the levels. Romain has huge potential. He's a really grounded boy with a great ability, and he's added to his end product this year already. If he carries on doing that, then Romain will certainly grace the Premier League at some stage. Maybe next season if he keeps playing as well as he is now. Obviously, one thing that you get, because the South London Press I think they've kind of morphed into, obviously, South London Press, South London paper, but they're online as the London News Online. They've kind of morphed into some kind of like Power Ranger news entity that I think they mostly cover West London and South London, so they don't really cover like West Ham or Leyton Orient or East London or Arsenal or that, but they do cover QPR, Fulham, Palace and Charlton, Millwall, etc. So when we play another London team, you do often get the post-match comments from the other team because they have to cover both teams. That's basically what they do. So we've got this now. I'm not happy with how we played. QPR boss reacts to Mill derby draw. QPR head coach Marty Sventes admitted frustration at his side's performance in their 1-1 draw with Mill and Loftus Road on Saturday lunchtime. It's the third game in a row in which Sventes' side have been forced to come from behind. Duncan Watmore's fifth goal of the season put Mill ahead, but Michael Frey found the equaliser for Rangers 4 minutes later. I'm not happy with how we played. We can play much, much better, said Sventes. We spoke during the week about how important it would be when we were in the phase of the building up, as Millwall usually play in a very narrow, 4-4-2. Rangers found it very hard to break Millwall down. A lack of intensity in the final third meant it was a rather quiet afternoon for Millwall's defence, with the West Londoners only managing 2 shots on target in the 90 minutes. The first half was very slow. We improved a little bit in the second half, but it wasn't good enough to really challenge them in the final third, Sventes admitted. It was important that we scored after they did, and that it didn't take too long to get to control. We know that in Millwall games, they are the ones with the least active time by far, and there are a lot of set plays and disruptions, so it's difficult, momentum to build, and we simply weren't good enough to impose the way we want to play at home. One of the recurring issues for QPR this season has been their tendency to fall behind early in matches. It was the fourth time 6 championship games that Rangers conceded first, a worrying trend that Svendes acknowledged but could not fully explain. It's difficult to find the reason. There are a lot of factors, he said. It's something we've been talking about, and we need to get better at. Today, for instance, I thought in the second half, we didn't improve as much as we have in other games, and it's about looking at ourselves and figuring out why it's happening. Indeed, so there you go. So he's really not happy with the way they played, and so when you play a game and it's a draw, what kind of draw is it? Were you lucky to get a draw? Did you deserve more than a draw? Should you have won the game, but you managed to get the draw? I think in this instance, this was a draw that we could have won the game, but a draw was a good result. We had the chances to win the game, just didn't get them into the net. But, a draw, not a bad result. Could have been better, but not bad, Now, moving on to this, the Scanlon Saga, the saga of Callum Scanlon. We now have some details after an Instagram post that was deleted, a story in the Southern News that was deleted, a bit of funny business going on behind the scenes. What's going on? Is he injured? Is he not injured? We have a post-match comment from the Millwall manager about what has happened. This is again from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. Liverpool loanee defender will miss at least the next 2 months of Mill's season. Liverpool loanee Callum Scanlon is facing at least 2 months on the Mill's sidelines. The 19-year-old left-back signed for the Lions at the end of the summer transfer window. Scanlon made his debut in the South London club's defeat to Luton Town at the Den last weekend. The youngster posted on social media that he was set for 4 months out, but then subsequently deleted it. Asked about Scanlon after Millwall's 1-1 draw at QPR today, manager Neil Harris said, he's got a stretched fracture in his back, which is a recurrent injury from previous, and that's unfortunate. We were very disappointed to lose him, because he's something different from what we've already got in the squad as a very attack-minded fullback, and he's gone back to Liverpool to be treated in the short term and the mid-term, and he's going to be rescanned at 6 weeks, and then we'll have a better idea of where he's going to be back soon, or he's going to be an extended period. Anything beyond that is not a discussion at the minute. So that is interesting. When he came on loan, I imagine when he came on loan to us, it was a season-long loan, which probably could have been cancelled. There was probably some kind of get-out clause in the January transfer window, which is, again, interesting that he said that he was going to be out until the January transfer window. So he's going to be rescanned in 6 weeks. So he's at least out for 6 weeks. 2 months is 8 weeks. Okay. I'll tell you what I think. I think what's going to happen is that he's going to be out until January, and then he's going to go back to Liverpool, and he's not going to come back to Millwall. He's going to go out on loan somewhere else. I think he doesn't want to be on loan here, and instead of saying, that he doesn't want to be on loan here, and can I get out of the deal, he's doing some funny business about previous injury, which... Here's the thing with previous injury. So if you've had a previous x-ray, do x-rays have dates on them? Or do they have a date in the corner? Or is it literally just a picture of someone's back? So that will be in his file, and he can just pull it out and say, look, I've broken my back, see? But yeah, come on. What are we doing here, man? The kids today, they break their back and they just want to quit playing. What's that about? Now, moving on to this, talking of another youngster. This is a weird one. this was announced at 2 p.m. today. A loan move for Sha'mar Lawson. So Ebbsfleet United can announce the loan signing of midfielder Sha'mar Lawson from Millwall until January 2025, ahead of today's match against Sutton United. The 21-year-old attacking box-to-box midfielder has previous National League experience from a 5-month loan spell with Matchday United in 22-23, where he impressed across 16 appearances for the club. Prior to his move to Millwall, where he helped the Lions under 21s to first place in the Professional Development League South last season, Lawson had a short spell with Mansfield Town's under-18 side, where he appeared in the FA Youth Cup. So they announced this. I don't think he's there pictured, so this was obviously weirdly, so it must have been done yesterday, because they said that he was possibility of playing today. He didn't play today, but they've obviously got the picture, unless that's photoshopped. Obviously these days, all kinds of things with Photoshop, so maybe they've just done that and stuck his head on someone else's body. I don't know what they're doing. But weird time to announce a loan signing. Obviously, I think you can see here, it says the 21-year-old. What's the team? It's the under-21s, so I think this is his last year. I think this is kind of like an exit loan, trying to get him, a career in football after he leaves Millwall, which hopefully he does well and moves on. And coupled by the fact that you've seen, Alfie Massey jump from the under-18s to the first team. You've seen Daniel Kelly come in from Celtic B team. He's 18 years old. He's come in. He's a midfielder, so he's been leapfrogged by 2 players younger than him. And interesting. So I don't know if they've decided, okay, Daniel Kelly, even though he's on the bench for the first team, not really playing, getting involved, if they're going to start playing him in the under-21 games more often, which means that Sha'mar Lawson will go out on loan. I don't know, but we'll wait and see. And obviously, all the best to Sha'mar Lawson as he probably in his last year of his Millwall contract. So there you go. Now moving on to this, which we're going to finish with. We're going to look at the results from today's Championship game. Sunderland beating Middlesbrough, obviously, to carry on their winless thing. They're at the top of the table, I believe. Cardiff again, the misery of Cardiff, losing 2-0 and having a player sent off. Portsmouth were beating Burnley, but ended up losing 2-1. So again, they're at the bottom of the table. West Brom winning 1-0 against Plymouth. So there you go. Watford getting smashed by Norwich 4-1. Tomorrow, there's a game at lunchtime. Preston versus Blackburn, Lancashire derby. Obviously, we play Preston next week, so interesting to see how they play. Will they step it up for the Lancashire derby or not? I don't know. Obviously, they're not doing too well, I don't think. So this is the table as it stands. We have currently 3 unbeaten teams. Well, 3 teams that haven't lost. Blackburn, Sheffield United, West Brom. Blackburn, as we said, they play tomorrow, so they could win, but they're 5th in the table. And Preston are 22nd, but I mean, this is the Championship. That literally means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. We have 2 teams still that haven't won a game, Portsmouth and Cardiff. In fact, Cardiff have only scored 1 goal, and that 1 goal that they scored was in that draw that they got, and that draw was away at Swansea. So every other game, the 5 games they've lost without scoring a goal. It looks like they're going to be whipping boys this season, because, they're stuck until January, and if they're still at the bottom of the table in January, how much are they going to spend how much can they spend to bring in players to try and get up to at least 4th from bottom? Probably not. But, obviously, we're Millwall, we're 18th. We are the only team in the bottom half of the table that does not have a negative goal difference. We don't have a positive goal difference. We're on 0, 9 and 9. 9 goals scored, 9 goals against. But every other team in the bottom half of the table has a negative goal difference. Well, technically not, because Middlesbrough are 12th and they've got +1. So it's technically true, but not actually true. If you look at Millwall, we've only won one game, which was, of course, the Sheffield Wednesday game. That was the only game we've won so far this season, 6 games. We've drawn 2 and lost 3. So, however well we're playing, obviously playing a lot more attacking football. We're scoring more goals. We've got 9 goals in 6 games. That's a lot better than we were doing last season. We ain't got the points on the board yet. We're not really firing on all cylinders yet. We do have a lot of injuries still. We don't have a decent squad full of players that aren't injured yet. So we wait to see. Obviously, Ivanovic came into the game today. I would say, I don't know if he needs to get his fitness up, but I mean, which one you're going to play? Whether you're going to play Langstaff? To be honest, I think the way Langstaff plays, I think Langstaff might be able to play in the 10 and have Ivanovic as the forward man. So that might be an option, but we wait to see. So yeah, but it's kind of frustrating because obviously we're in 18th, we're playing well, but we've got teams above us like Hull, who we drew 0-0 against, Luton, that beat us last week 1-0. Queen's Park Rangers, team we played today, they were absolutely awful. We drew 1-1 with them. They're above us. Obviously, it's 6 games in. It's a 46 game season, it's early days, but again, Bristol City team. All of the teams that we played really are above us, except for Sheffield Wednesday. So that is disappointing. Yeah. If we scroll down, you can see shots per game. We are 4th in the league for shots per game, 14.8 shots per game. And Duncan Watmore, 5th goal today, 5 goals. So 5 of our 9 goals come from Duncan Watmore. That's 56%. So that's more than half of our goals, which is a lot. We really do need other people to start chipping in. Like, they have had the chances, They have had the chances. So there you go. On that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.